There's something extra special, magical that happens here. It is powerful. It is transformational. Kids are recognizing kids with similar illnesses, but also recognizing that there are kids with even greater challenges.
There's a mutual understanding of other individuals and an empathy and compassion that comes out of being at camp and seeing other people who have it just as rough or maybe rougher than you do. And that's something that a lot of our children don't see at home because they're the special one at home, but at camp they're one of the bunch.
Kids meeting kids, that's the greatest takeaway from the experience here for them. They have an opportunity to talk openly about what's going on in their life, with their illness, with the challenges at school, with the challenges that they have heading into hospital procedures.
You can sit down and talk to someone who has sickle cell or who has cerebral palsy, and you're like, oh, you're in the hospital, for days on end. Me too. You take medicine twice a day. Me too. It helps build lifelong friends.
A lot of these kids come from isolated situations and they don't always have friends who will understand them, but by the end of the week, these kids have made family members and brothers and sisters, and it's really great to watch that bond.
You learn names pretty quick, and after day 2, you can pretty much know everyone in your cabin's names, and you just kind of become friends.
Going to summer camps, like the day program summer camps growing up, at least I was kind of an outsider at those. And when I was able to have the opportunity to go to Double H, you were just one of the group. And there was no better feeling than being included.
You know what they've been through and they know what you've been through, but you don't need to talk about it. You had that kind of silent understanding between you and everybody else at camp that they get it.
When I think about the relationships at camp, the word that comes to mind is family. Many of the campers spend 10 years with each other growing up, often spending the same week together. The counselors and the campers are extremely close. The staff develop relationships with many of these campers and counselors and volunteers. What they've experienced together is so meaningful, so impactful, and so life-changing. These relationships are real.
Let's come together, put our arms around each other, be there for one another.
We had been struggling on finding a niche, a place for us where Gabe fit in and was like everybody else. Double H is the perfect place where he fits in. On our very first day ever at Double H, we parked our car in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
And we got out of the car, and Gabe introduced himself to a young man walking next to us, and it's the first time we ever met another child with the same disorder that Gabe had. We became friends with Mike Gully.
Michael was diagnosed at a young age with neurofibromatosis type 1. Growing up, Mike was a different kid. He had some physical challenges, he had some learning challenges, and we were a little apprehensive about taking him to camp, but when he stepped foot at that camp, he didn't have an ailment anymore. He wasn't sick anymore.
Camp was the best medicine.
Michael was a lot older than Gabe. When Gabe was 6, Michael was 16. But I think it was really important for Gabe to know there was somebody else like him. When Gabe was on chemo, Michael was on chemo, and we would see him in the hospital. And to know that there was another family that was doing the same thing we were doing was great.
When Michael passed away, Gabe was pretty emotional, and his mom said, you need to change a negative to a positive.
Gabe had the opportunity to do Make-A-Wish, and we decided that renovating the barn, which was Michael's favorite place, would turn a negative into a positive.
Here's another camper that had an opportunity to do anything he wanted to do. And he did. He gave it back.
He's quite a guy.
His whole class came to his Make-A-Wish Day. There were hundreds of other volunteers there.
Hundreds! It was huge.
It was huge.
It was tremendous.
So there was lots and lots of people there. We renovated it. Michael's family was there. And with Make-A-Wish and Double H and a family like the Gullies, it turned something that was negative into a real positive.
What we've created is an environment of inclusion. You're accepted for who you are as a member of this family. The teachers in this world are those campers of ours. The great news is it's not just that week at camp. We take camp wherever we go in life.